Hi, I'm Peter Haddock and I'm here at the UK Construction Week. Georgia, I've just listened to your roundtable conversation here. It's fascinating to understand how you at Costain work about delivering projects. And what was really interesting is that early engagement that you're saying, look, we've got to make this happen, we've got to change the way the industry does things. Why is early engagement now so important for Costain?
I think it's really important for us because we want to be able to deliver good infrastructure, efficient infrastructure, and infrastructure that's carbon and good for the planet, and also for the people that we're serving.
And the one thing you were saying to people is, like, come and approach Costain and tell us what you're doing, but recognise that we're going to take you on the journey that you need to go from, all the way from commercials to testing and to the delivery of new solutions. But you came up with a really nice solution you're doing with rail. Explain to me how that worked and the processes that led to that being used.
So the things that we do is really come up with the right solutions, the right answers. And sometimes because we're, engaged engineers, we see what's going on in the world. And if we have the time, we will come up with these solutions and approach our clients with our solutions to be able to say, look at what we've done based on just what we can find and what we know. If we have the opportunity to partner with you, we can add more value. And often that kind of initial conversation and the good work that my team are doing allows that conversation and that door to be open to then potentially lead on to work and coming up with even better solutions with better benefits for both our clients and the public.
And so this rail project that you're talking about normally would have wooden sleepers, but we've got that new material. What was it again? I can't remember what the material was called.
So it's called fibre foamed urethane, or FFU. And it's a product that has been used in London Underground for many years, but breaking that barrier and bringing it into Network Rail land is a different kind of barrier and a different opportunity that I've had to overcome.
And so that's now actually in place, and what was really fascinating about it is we're talking about carbon. So the carbon up front might be relatively big, but you've understood from that project there's 3 times as much change that's going to happen if you use wood, folks. 3 times that would have to be changed instead of that product. And so all of those things, all those people on site, all the emissions from equipment, all of the risks and the safety is eliminated from that use of that material. And so the other things you're really interested in is how people bring products and bring innovations to you, because you rely heavily on the supply chain as well, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. And I think with especially large organizations like Costain, there's so many different people in the organization, but I think it's really important to engage different people at different levels. Because I think everyone always has that eye on going to the chief engineer or the project director or really, really high to get their ideas sold. But ultimately, I think it's people that are more junior in the team that have the energy and have the drive and aren't necessarily conditioned by doing the right things or the same things all the time, because they don't know what's done all the time. Yeah. So they're the ones that have the energy to drive it, because driving change is not easy. No. You have lots of motivations. A lot of barriers to kind of overcome. So having maybe more junior staff who can sell the idea and be your cheerleader internally, I think is also a different avenue that supply chain should explore, as well as doing traditional things like lunch and learns and going to expos and kind of doing all things that we all know. It's also getting the right people who want change and using them as vessels to kind of introduce supply chains into contractor environments.
And I think what's really interesting is we look at the way in which we're doing things. We talk about decarbonisation, we talk about low carbon solutions, we also talk about safety and everything coming in. And you mentioned the 3 sort of pillars that you work to. Explain what they are and why they're so important to the way in which Costain helps and looks at projects to deliver them.
So ultimately, you kind of have 3 pillars of sustainability, being kind of planet, profit, and people. Yep. That's the way that I categorise them. And Costain had their own kind of why strategy, which covers different elements of sustainability as well as well-being and social value. And at Costain, it's not just about getting boots on the ground, doing concrete. It's about actually delivering better infrastructure and thinking about, okay, this is what we're delivering, this is what we're asked to do, but how can we add value to our client? And by our clients, a lot of their priorities is the customer, the end user, and ultimately the public. So we have to train our minds as this is what our clients have asked for, but how can we think outside the box, add more value to them, and ultimately society as well.
And so that's it, folks. What it's really about is Georgia and her team are just there for having you guys talk to them as the main contractors, but also looking at new ideas. It's not just the set person, like you say at the top. Everybody's got to make the change. If you've got a good idea, if people can see what you're doing, come to you and say, look, let us show you how this could potentially work as well. Then that gives you the advantage of going, right, learning about solutions that are coming through into the marketplace, but also all of those processes about making it real, testing it, and then coming onto site and deliver it. So what would you say to people that might be looking at this that have got a great idea?
Come and talk to me. Or not. No, I'm joking. But yeah, no, definitely, just you have to be able to, like I said, get the right angle, get in front of somebody who wants to make a change. And ultimately, that's what happened to me. I went to Lunch and Learn, I loved the idea, and I was like, I need to make this happen. And I just had to go out and be the advocate internally. It's easy to kind of get the supply chain in, but depending on who they're talking to, they don't always understand, whereas I know all these different people. I have studied the product, I've seen it work, and I was like, I am going to drive this forward. And ultimately, it was hard. And I had bad days and times where people were like, no, we're not doing it. And I'm like, you need to do it. And then it went away, it came back, it went away, it came back. And you kind of need that persistence. And at the time, yeah, I wouldn't say I'm very senior, but that doesn't matter. I think when it comes to leadership of change, anybody can be an advocate of it.
And certainly I'm an advocate for change. I'm certainly an advocate for low carbon. I'm certainly an advocate for the industry, just like you are, Georgia. And I think it's great to see someone so enthusiastic to say to people, I'll go and run with you with this. I'll do the hard yards so we can get change into the industry. Great to see the big projects you've been working on as well today. And great to meet you. Cheers.
You too. Thank you.